Started out at the back of the show. I've had enough of being part of the crowd. So much for making a plan. Just gonna dive in and do it loud.
Yo, holy shit, Raiders! Welcome! Oh, I was not ready. My voice was not ready. My voice was not ready. Hello, hello, welcome. It's me, it's Catman. I'm back from... I'm also very tall. There we go, that's better. There we go, that should be better. Hello! Thank you so... Hey, Lulu. Hey, how was your subathon? How you doing? I hope we get a chance to catch up soon. Hello, everybody! I wasn't streaming for a week because, I had surgery on Friday, and I have been very sore. You are now up to date. You are now up to date with why I have not been streaming. Welcome. But yeah, thank you so much for the raid. Doing good, just sleepy. Get well soon. I mean, that's the idea, hopefully. But yeah. Hello everyone. I am Yusei. I like to play a lot of different types of games. I am currently going through Cyberpunk, which I know Lulu has also been enjoying. Lulu, did you ever beat it? Or are you still going through it? Because I'm in Phantom Liberty at the moment. So, and then a whole bunch of shit, and then a whole bunch of games came out, and I was like, well, I gotta put a break on this because, I gotta play all the games that came out. And then I wanted to finish them because, before, surgery. Yes, we did 3 endings. Today was my last one. Well, would you look at that? Perfect timing. And yeah, this Friday, that's the day. This Friday, I'll be trying out Crimson Desert, which has kind of shot up my list recently of games I'm interested in because that game just looks like a lot of dumb fun. Yeah, if you enjoy variety content and a British Catboy Yakuza VTuber, I am here. But no, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lulu. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, please let us catch up properly soon. I feel like I've just been so, like, in my own little world, just with, like, you know, trying to focus on things, so, you know, just hit me up in those DMs. Anyway. What was I talking about? Surgery! That's what I was talking about. Hello! So, yes, for anyone who is not aware, I've had a problem with one of my wisdom teeth for the longest time, and on Friday, I went in to get it surgically removed. So obviously, I was on strict bed rest afterwards, which I promptly kind of ignored because I actually felt relatively okay afterwards. Like, my mom came down to look after me, but instead we ended up going out for lunch on Mother's Day, which I think was actually much nicer than her having to just, you know, look after me while I'm bedridden. So yeah, I went in on the Friday. You know, I was in the ward and just waiting to have it done. It was all completed in just under 2 hours, and I was able to go home on the day, which was great. So currently right now, I am just quite sore in the left side of my mouth, which is to be expected. Got like stitches and everything, so those should hopefully be dissolving by the end of the week, is the idea. But yes, basically, yeah, it's just been a lot of like, you know, rest on my end. I wanted to try and stream yesterday, but that ended up not happening because chat, I don't know if you knew this, but your body, when it tries to repair like a lot of damage, gets very tired because it uses that energy to repair your body. So that was the point yesterday where I came home from my job and I walked into my place And then I was like, good lord, I am tired. I'm just like, I just had that moment where I just got home, relaxed for about 1/6 of a second, and then I was like, oh shit, I am tired. I am dead tired. Hey Opal, I live? So do I. Mine shuts off, yeah, can't recover from a cold without sleeping more. And guess what? I did a lot of sleeping today as well. I had a nap. I took an earlier nap, and was able to work from home today to make sure that I had the energy to at least, have a stream. But yeah, it's just basically, it's just, you know, it's gonna take time for recovery. They told me, you know, I'm not allowed to go to the gym for the week, which, I haven't. And I also got these, like, medical stockings, which I have to wear when I sleep and go out. Which I also have to just wear for a week, which is to stop, blood clots in the leg, apparently, which can sometimes be a side effect from the anesthetic. Thankfully, my family does not have a history of that, so they said it would be extremely unlikely that it happens, but, you know, better safe than sorry, as they say. Chat, when your doctor says do something, you should probably do it, because it probably means it will help you get better. Like, I'm not sure if anyone else has the parents where... I know I have friends who have parents, and my parents can be a little bit like this, where they could just break something, and they'll be like, nah, it'll get better, and then they end up just, like, walking on, like, a broken ankle for, like, 2 weeks. you know what I mean? Like, it's just... To me, that's just madness. When a doctor tells me to do something, I do my utmost to try and, you know, do it. Because I feel like they know better than me, in some respects. Obviously, I don't know my, you know, I know my own body better than anyone else, but still. But yeah, even today, I'm still a little bit sore. They also gave me, like, a bunch of painkillers, like some really strong painkillers, which I haven't ended up needing. I've just taken, like, regular painkillers daily. Which reminds me, I need to get some more. I just remembered that. I need to get some, paracetamol. But I got some, yeah, but they gave me some codeine, which I'm definitely not gonna sell on the black market. As if I would do that, even if it would be in character, considering I'm a criminal, but still. Gotta make that payday somehow. Oh, yes. But, it's been... yeah, no, it's been just kind of, as I said, just kind of, like, you know, taking it easy. Playing a lot of Breath of the Wild, finally, trying to beat that game. I'm only almost 10 years late to the party. I got close. The closest I got was 6 years ago? I got about 3/4 of the way, and then I stopped, and I can't remember why I stopped, so this time I'm committed to actually beating it. I've just done the Elden, area. I've just done the Goron, area, and now I'm just doing a bunch of, like, side questing at the moment. And I got the DLC, so, I've started the Trial of the Sword. The Trial of the Sword. Now, Breath of the Wild was the perfect game for me to get into right now. When I was I started it before I went to the hospital, and I think it's just the right amount of it was just the right amount of, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's not too intense. So I was able to just, you know, while I was resting in bed, and while I'm resting in bed, I can just pull out my Switch 2. Because I played the Switch 2 version, and be like, hey, you know, I can play this for an hour before bed, or, you know, while I'm, like, resting, and it's just a really good game where you can be like, oh, you know, I can do a couple shrines right now, or, you know, or I've got the time to do an entire, like, main quest line chain, or something like that. It's a game that's very big, but you can like, do it in bite-sized chunks. I like to put my wooden weapons on display at home in that game. I've been putting the champion weapons on the display. I've actually done that recently. I got the home with all of the displays put up. So I've been putting the champion weapons up there. I can't remember if you could get the champion weapons again, because obviously with the you know, with the destructible weapons, which I'm one of those people. Maybe this is a hot take. I never had a problem with the destructibility of weapons in Breath of the Wild. I never did. I always felt like I had too many weapons that I cared about, so the fact that they actually got destroyed was a good thing for me, because there was so much. I still run into this problem where I'm like, shit, I just have so many weapons, and I can't hold them all. Yo, what's up, Doku? If Leon was Silent Hill, he would say some stupid shit like Syl on her. Sorry, I'm not the quiet type. And then he'd shoot the sign. Silent Hill. Maybe it's time I raise some noise. No, the Leon shit posts have been great. I'm glad that they have returned since RE4 Remake. But, just going back to Breath of the Wild for a second, the other thing I've been doing to try and break up, my playtime with Breath of the Wild is, so, the reason I've decided that, like, okay, the reason that I'm struggling to play Breath of the Wild and beat it is because the game is so large, and because it's a very sort of, I'm gonna call Breath of the Wild a relaxed-paced game. You know what I mean? Like, it's a game where it's very chill, you take your time with it, it's not very intense. Like, don't get me wrong, there's very intense moments, but, like, the moment-to-moment, for the most part, is a lot of, you know, it's a lot of going across Hyrule Field and climbing a mountain and discovering something, which is great, but it's a lot. So what I started doing is, I've started, also playing, at the same time, Hyrule Age of Calamity. So, it's not canon. It's like, it takes place, before, Breath of the Wild, like 100 years before, and it's kind of like a what-if story, for people who don't know. However, it's a lot more action-focused. Because it's a Musou game. It's a Warriors game. So, whenever I've done, like, a big section in Breath of the Wild, what then I would do is that I would go, alright, I'm gonna switch on over to Age of Calamity and play that for a bit, so I can have a bit of intense action, but it's still set in the same world, even if it's, like, a non-canon what-if story, and it's been working out really well. I've actually I've been really enjoying playing between the two games, because also you get to see a lot more of the champion's characterization in, Age of Calamity. You get to spend a lot more time with, like, you know, Mipha and Davok and Revali, the hater, and Urbosa. Oh, Urbosa, my love. Oh, Urbosa, my queen. And also, it just helps that it's a really good Warriors game. It is very, very good. The characters play very differently from one another, which is always a good thing in a Warriors game, because I feel like that's one of the big problems that a Musou game can run into, is that you just feel like you're playing the same character over and over again. So those games live and die by their character, the ability for character variety. And also, I've been trying out, because I forgot this was a thing, but since I'm playing the Switch 2 version, I've also been trying out Zelda notes. So I remember when they announced Zelda Notes, and people were confused because it came out after Breath of the Wild and after Tears of the Kingdoms, and people were confused because, well, why wouldn't you release this when the game was new? At least Tears of the Kingdom, because it has really cool features, but people had already played the game. And then I thought, well, hang on a minute, I haven't played Tears of the Kingdom at all yet, because I never beat Breath of the Wild. And since I never beat Breath of the Wild, this is the perfect chance for me to try this out. So I've been trying it out. And it basically works like an interactive, like, it's got a few options. It's got like an if like anyone plays like open world games, there's like interactive maps that people create online in order to be like, hey, here's where the collectibles are located, and you can like tick them off. It's actually kind of like it got an official version of that, where it basically, you can list all of like the shrines and the towers and side quests, and they get ticked off as you do them. So there's an official version of that. It's got like medals, which are basically achievements like, you know, collect 1,000 weapons or run across 100 kilometers and stuff like that. But the most interesting part to me is it connects with your game, like on your Switch 2 via your phone. And there's a collectible that is unique to Zelda Notes, which is Zelda's research notes. So you get to a specific point in the game, and then the phone recognizes you've reached that point, and then it plays a voice message from Zelda as if she's reading from her research notes 100 years ago. So it's basically just a very roundabout way to add another collectible to the game. But it is interesting. I can't lie. Like, usually the notes themselves aren't, like, you know, they're not long. They're, like, I don't know, they're, like, a couple sentences each. There's a lot of them. There's, like, over 100 of them in the game. But I just found that it's just a very Nintendo way of basically putting in, like, collectible notes that you would find in another, you know, in another open world style game. Gotta do it in the most roundabout way possible instead of just adding notes you read in game. Which I did find very funny. Even though I'm late, but, you know, you gotta say it. Breath of the Wild, surprise, surprise, it's still a good game. I'd probably forget and get startled when my phone starts talking to me when I accidentally do something. See, I was waiting for it, and I was still startled, because I forgot I put my phone at full volume because I was watching a video earlier, so I just get this massive just blast from Zelda. And then just, like, this jingle that's just like full volume, reverberating through my house. I say house, flat. Singular room. Think I can afford a house in this economy? So I still got startled, even though I was expecting it. What's funny, though? But yeah, surprise, surprise, Breath of the Wild, still a very good game. I'm still very much enjoying it. By the way, chat, if anyone's wondering what the plan today is, I did slate this down to be playing more Cyber Punk 2077. However, since I'm still sore and I'm still resting, then I probably shouldn't be talking too much because it's a literal mouth injury that I had. So, well, yeah, no, it does count as a mouth injury. Especially with regards to, like, you know, the stitches. I don't want to stream for too long, so this probably won't be a long stream today, but hopefully over the next couple days, I should be good to get back to my regular length. So for today, chat, I wanted to talk about this yesterday. Because yesterday was a very weird day for me. Because when I was... Okay. Oh god, where do I even start? Where do I even start with the amount of weird shit that happened yesterday? I guess I should start with the most obvious one. Chat, what are you aware of in regards to DLSS 5? Who here is aware of DLSS 5? Hi Kat, welcome back from surgery. Thank you, James from Redsight. I am indeed back. I do not like it. Guess what, Opal? You are not alone. Not many people do like it. So I'm coming at this a bit late. Obviously, the internet has had their, you know, reaction to it, rightfully so, and are dunking on it, rightfully so, as just a crazy, just thing that exists. I still want to talk about it a little bit. Now that it's been a couple days, and more info has come out, I am going to offer the moderate review that it still fucking sucks, and I hate it. I'm still gonna say I absolutely hate it. I think the idea is terrible. And the showing was also terrible. No, like... So, I was walking... So I saw the video, like, as it was announced live when I was walking back on Monday. From my weekly fighting game local. I was walking back on the Monday when I saw the video, and I watched it on my phone. And my first initial time watching it, I was confused. I was just very confused because I saw DLSS 5, and I, like probably a lot of people, assumed, oh, this is an update to what the already existing DLSS 4.5, which for people who don't know what, I think I always forget what DLSS stands for. It's basically... I'm looking this up. What was that? What does it stand for? It's something super sampling? Deep learning super sampling. Right, yeah, sorry, deep learning super sampling. So basically, for a quick little like introduction for anyone not familiar with DLSS, it's been around since like 2017, 2018. It's actually quite old, like since the at least since the first version. And basically what it does is it makes the game render, the game renders at a lower resolution, let's say 1080p, and then it uses AI, machine learning, to basically scan the games at a lower resolution and be like, okay, let's try and reconstruct the image at a higher resolution. So if it's at 1080p, and then, like, remakes the image at 4K, the game's actually running at 1080p, which means, better, quote-unquote, performance. That's the idea. And for the most part, the technology has been pretty good overall. So, when they announced DL... So, there's been a lot of debate over the idea of, like, you know, this is making developers lazy because they don't optimize their games, which I think that's a gross oversimplification of the problem of lack of optimization. I don't think we can just point at DLSS and say that's the problem. I think it could be, like, a contributor to the problem, maybe. But I don't think it's the full problem. Yo, what's up, Bloops? They aged Poor Grace like 20 years. No, they didn't though. Like the thing. Oh god. Like okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Okay, sorry. In a sec. Also, hey Bloops, how you doing? Welcome. Thank you for being here. Sorry, I'm doing my rant on DLSS 5. Anyway, so the way that I was watching the video, and the way that it was being presented was, oh, we are going to add a feature. So you basically now have a thing that developers can add, which can make more simulated realistic lighting by using, you know, Gen AI machine learning to basically add in the lighting without the post-processing power that's needed to do that lighting, quote-unquote, for real. And then this is where the great, you know what, I have it, chat, I have it here. Let's just, I'm just gonna bring it up. Let's just bring it up. I have to, for people who haven't seen this, I'm just gonna bring it up. It's a YouTube video. Can I not just do the slide? Yes, I can. Yes, I can do the slide. I can do the slide myself. I'm just gonna do this myself. Let's get this. Let's get the visuals. It's playing Persona 4 boss music at the moment, and I feel like that's very appropriate for what we're dealing with. Right. So, here is, you know what? Let me even do the full 4K. Here we go. So 4K image. This is the best possible quality, you know, that I could possibly have to make it look like it look. Here's Grace. So this is the game. You know, this is the game with path tracing on. So, you know, high-end PC. This is, I would imagine all of the graphics set to max at 4K. So, I'm just gonna do this. So obviously there's a little bit of variance with the image because, you know, it's not exactly the same. So at first I'm like, okay. It's trying to replicate the lighting, you know, on her jacket. You know, there's this, you know, it's trying to replicate the lighting. It doesn't quite make sense because I think the light, like, what is that supposed to be? The lighting from like the store, even though that lighting would nowhere near be. Like, it kind of makes sense. Nah, even then, it's just like, anyway, whatever. So like, I was like, okay, looking at the details, and then. That is a different person. Who the fuck is this? This is a different person. Yo, what's up, Galactic? What surgery did you have? I had a wisdom tooth surgically removed, so I got stitches in the lower left of my jaw. And, like, also just the lighting, like, the lighting also just looks grayer. Like, it's got, like, this, like, sheen over it now, which... It's like studio lighting. That's what it reminds me of. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just going all over the place. Like, I'm just going all over the place with this, because there's just so many things I want to comment on with this whole thing. I had my ears removed? Yes. I decided to come closer to an actual thing. Also, hey, Monster, how you doing? Wait, the sign is warped? Do you mean... Oh, no, this? No, that's so... It's a flap. It's not warped. That's like it's like a flap sign, you know, like... So it's blowing in the wind. So that's why it's warping. But, like... This is a different person. It's just, hey, Wad, how you doing? Hey, hello. I'm ranting about this DLSS 5 that I ranted to you about, like, yesterday. Like, this is... God, I just have so... I'm trying to compose my thoughts. There's just so many things happening here. There's so many things happening here that I want to try and compose my thoughts on what I... Like, how I approach this. How do I approach this topic? Let's just start with the elephant in the room. Yeah, this is not Grace. This is a different person. Like, and also, like, it's... I'm just gonna say it. She looks like one of those Gen AI porn adverts. That's what she looks like. She looks like an advert, like those adverts you see on black sites that I sometimes see. Because I go to them. No, but like, they're never able to avoid them. But like, we should do dual streaming so I can keep playing Slay the Spire and also listening to you. I mean, I guess we technically could. Also, just the context for this is so weird. And I think it's also because it's Grace that why a lot of people are rightfully pissed off. Because for anyone who remembers, the reason that she is going, like, she is in the scene, this is at the beginning of the game, literally one of the, like, literally the first controllable part, she is going to the hotel where her mother was murdered. Like, she is going to the hotel where her mother was murdered. I think the last thing she would want to do is put on lipstick and have fuller lips. Like, and Grace is already an attractive, like, lady. Like, I would say Grace is already, like, attractive. And this just feels like they just wanted to try and beautify her. My friend Shuck, basically, we were talking about it, and he made the perfect comparison. This version of Grace feels like when Horizon Zero Dawn was, Forbidden West. When Horizon Forbidden West was coming out, and you got those people who were looking at Aloy and going, she has peach fuzz on her hair, that's not beauty standards that are realistic of real-life women, and then they, like, they redrawed her to have, like, makeup and stuff, and went, look, I fixed her. This is what this feels like. Like, this is what this design feels like. It feels like it was designed by those groups of people that have never talked to a woman in their entire adult lives. Anyway, so that's the like, this is the worst example. Then you got there's this one as well. And again, it's like, this one isn't as bad. And I think the theory people said is because it's like a closer shot, it's not trying to, like, normalize as much. But even then, like, there's still this weird sheen. Like, there's this weird, like, sheen that's just, like, appearing on her face, which, again, is, like, this, it's, like, the weird sort of, like, calling card of, like, Gen AI people. It's, like, this weird sort of, like, plasticky, papery look. It's just so odd. Sorry, I'm just like, I'm doing like, woo, 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 but yes, again, it's just so odd. Oh, and of course, they yassified, I do find it funny that this is being dubbed the yassification filter, because it's like, here's Leon. Everyone knows that Leon is an ugly man. He is disgusting. He is absolutely deplorable to look at. Look at this disgusting, horrible, ugly human. Look, we fixed him. We made him beautiful. it's not like this man has literally got an entire following of very, 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 big fans of, ladies. It's so odd. Like, where is the light coming from? That's my question. Sorry, like even ignoring like the weird like kind of like again just the weird sheen that happens. Like it gets rid of the shadows underneath his eyebrows. Where the fuck is this light coming from? He's literally glowing. Did they change what the coat is made of? No, the coat is still relatively... I mean, the coat, again, has this weird sort of, like, light radiating off of him. The light is coming from Wesker's ass. It might as well. Supposedly this is still under the control of the artist, which shows they hired shit artists. No, you're missing. No, what they said is... No, Monster. What they said is... So the defense that Nvidia has said is that basically, no, this will be up to the choice of the artists when the feature goes live, because this feature isn't live yet. This feature is set to go live in fall. So these versions that have been made were made by Nvidia. I think we got confirmation on that. All of these examples that they've come across were made by Nvidia for, you know, showcase purposes, and then they would be signed off by some executive at the company, you know, basically saying, yes, this is exactly what we want. This is my take. This is my honest to God take. I would imagine that the artists behind these characters are not the ones signing off on this. I would like to imagine, and by like I mean it sucks, but like I would think that the artists behind these characters are not the ones signing off on this. It would be, you know, the studio managers that are signing off on this. You know, Nvidia will come up to them and be like, this is the technology, you know, this is what we've done. And then, like, the studio managers would be like, great, we love it. Yes, we sign off on this. This is how we want to present our guys. Hey, I'm a guy and I like Leon too. Honestly, yeah, you're right. Fan bases of all types. I assume this is because AI is trained on a lot of directed photos and movies, which often contain extra sources of light, seemingly shining out of good God's asshole. Yes, I think so too. One of these things that, like, Nvidia are, you know, I feel like this is one of these things that Nvidia, if they had nothing to be afraid of, they could just come out and say, no, we have our own machine learning, like, you know, we have our own machine learning that we are using in order to, like, train. And then, you know, they would be transparent and say, this is what we're using. And then they could gain a lot of goodwill by saying, yeah, you know, or more goodwill at the very least by saying, you know, we got all of the permissions from all of these artists to use all of them, and we paid them and compensate them. But that's not what's happening. They probably took a generative AI model that, you know, just scrapes whatever and, you know, steals art from wherever. So they're not gonna do that. I would love to be proven wrong. Anyway, so, like, this is the original game, and then once again, the light! Where is the light coming from? Again, this just looks like a different person. Once again, redder, fuller lips. I saw the video with Starfield on, because, surprise, surprise, Todd Howard is all for the idea. He loves it, which doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Two of the example games were Starfield and Oblivion. I really hope they have the Oblivion example, because the Oblivion example, that is a different person. This is a different person. That is a different person. Like, just straight up. like, I guess the only point that I could give them is that, yes, the hair does look kind of good in some shots. You know, disconnected from everything else. And then, like, some of the material does look a bit better. And that's about it. You know, that's all I can say. If I was gun to my head, like, was told to, like, talk about, you know, the positives of what this of this. Can we run Yusei through the filter? Please don't. God, the fucking, like, the lighting sheen. Like, look, where is that lighting coming from? Like, okay, yeah, there is a light source there, clearly, but, like... Oh, it did this guy dirty. I think this is supposed to be, like, a student as well. They're all so wet. Yeah! My god. Oh god, here's... Oh god, like, this one's one of my least favorite ones. You think you got... Chat, you think you got a realistic old lady? Nah, your realistic old lady is shit. It's time for uber-realistic old lady. Oh, I feel so bad for this character. Also, you know, Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah. Surprise, surprise, Warner Brothers. Surprise, surprise, Warner Brothers are behind the idea. Who would have thought? God, she looks like wax. Like, it's so uncanny. Like, I think that's the other thing that gets me with it. It's just so uncanny. She has wrinkles, make her look like tree bark. But also give her, like, blush and, like, eyeshadow? Like, hang on, like, am I crazy? It looks like it looks like she put, like, blush and makeup on her eyes. Maybe that's just the lighting, but that's what it looks like. It looks like again, it looks like whatever model, yeah, and, like, of course her lips are, like, nice and shiny as well. Is it light from the spell? Is it? Is it, though? When I was talking with Wad about this yesterday, he just turns into an actual cat with DOSS on. Chat, you're not wrong. Okay, you know what, chat? You're not wrong. Everyone looks like plastic. Hey, Cheston. Oh, my lord. Alright, let's get away from the humans for a second, because the humans are the obvious problem. So, like, okay, let's get away from the humans for a split second, so let's look at environments. So, when we put it over the environment... Again, it just... I think the part that really bothers me with the environments is that it kind of just gives it the same look. It really homogenizes it. Like, it's just all this, like, it's just this, like, really homogenized studio lighting look. Trying to see, okay, here's a good one. Like, here's a good shot. Like, yeah, here. So this is, like, I'm guessing this is in the same area. I think, I don't know where this is. I don't know if this is, like, a tech demo. It just puts, like, this weird, like white, bright studio light. It's like a ring light. That it just puts on everything. It makes it look like the weather is colder. Yeah, it adds cold lighting to everything. They took the color out of it. There's some parts where it does add color, but it adds color in this, like, it adds color with, like, with this cold lighting that it just puts on everything. So, like, technically, like, if we look at this lemon, it is brighter if you put it here, but again, it's just with this weird, like, it's just with this weird sort of, like, homogenized blue cold lighting. And I'm imagining this is supposed to be like a, yeah, it's supposed to be like sunny, overcast kind of area, so it'd be weird if it looked so cold. Like, look at that! It's complete, like, that's completely different. Like, that's completely different to the time of day that they're trying to show. Oh, and of course, yeah, she also, you know, gets a little bit of beauty eyeshadow. Lord forbid the guard not look good while she's on duty. I don't know if she's a guard. I don't even know if this is based off a real game. I'm just, you know, I'm just making assumptions. But I see the sword, and I see, you know, the gauntlets, so I'm assuming she's supposed to be, I'm assuming she's supposed to be guarding something. I'm not even saying lighting can't look like this. I've been outside on days like this when, like, the lighting's super cold, but it's just on everything. Oh, they're gonna yassify my lizard. Oh, they didn't yassify the lizard? Damn, that's just cowardly. Again, they just bake this lizard. I know the lizard's supposed to be cold-blooded, but even this is a bit extreme, don't you think? Ugh. I'm sure they will correct their mistakes and people can choose if they want their game to look cold or the new option being under intense warm lighting. So, Galactic, it's funny you mention that, because here's the counter-argument I've seen some people make. Because I've seen some people make the argument of, well, this is just Generation 1 of this new technology. So Generation 1 only has so much that it can go on. And then once they add new, learning models, they'll be able to keep on adding and adding and adding and adding, and eventually, yeah, the mistakes will be corrected, because, apparently this is called the Indazora NVIDIA Tech Demo, so there you go, it's not even a real game. So this is something they have complete creative control over. So, like, this isn't even based off a real game. Sorry, I just wanted to point that out. So this is their own tech demo. So they have full creative control of this, for this showcase. And I still think it looks bad. But anyway, just going back to the original point. They basically go, we'll add more machine learning, and eventually it will learn and not make these mistakes. That's not the problem. At least not to me, because yes, with any AI model, if you just keep pumping it full of information, eventually, eventually things will get corrected and it will get better. Like, we've seen that. My problem is the idea of artistic integrity being destroyed by the artist. So there's a whole discussion here that I could spend a lot of time talking about, which is, you have the artist. Let's go back to Grace. Let's go back to Grace, because she's a really good. I think this is a really good example of this. So again, as I mentioned before, in this moment, Grace is apprehensive. She's going to a place, and she is going to a place where her mother was murdered. So she's anxious, and she's not really caring about how she looks, because why would you in that situation? So, obviously, the artist and character designer will want her to act in a certain way. And one of the things that I really should have done a much better job at doing while I was playing Resident Evil Requiem is I was really impressed with the little details as I was playing, even in first person as Grace, where when I was hiding behind corners, she would, like, shake, the gun would shake. And, it was very clear that she was anxious, the way that she acted. Like, the character, the voice actor did a fantastic job of showing her anxiousness. and her apprehension to situations, and then that also comes through in the in the character design. She is, drawn and created in a specific way that the designers want in order to, basically convey certain feelings and emotions about the character to the player. Now, obviously, there's other things that could come into that, like, over-sexualization, sex appeal, whitewashing, or a bunch of other things. But, like, for this argument, let's just say, like, yes, this is the way that that the designer wanted the character to be designed. But then NVIDIA comes along and goes, no. You thought that you wanted to design her this way. No. So, like, all of the, all of those, like, limitations that you had based on your game, when you were trying to design the world and path tracing and all of that stuff. No, you only thought that's how you wanted her to be designed. We know better, so we have a tool that can bring your true vision to life. And it basically just comes across as a company, at least to me, going, no, we know better. We know better. We know what you want. And they tried to, like, cover their tracks by saying, no, this is the artist's decision. But it's just got this stench of, like, we know what's good for your game. You know what I mean? Like, we know what's better. Hey, Pun, my dude, welcome back from surgery, man. Thank you so much. Sorry, I'm ranting about DLSS 5. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this and the internet clowning on it, but, like, it's just such a wild thing to announce. And I'm just talking about my feelings about it, which are not positive. What is a company's attempt to correct the AI piss filter? Okay, ChatGPT and other AI models generate images with a yellowish golden hue. I actually didn't know about that. I don't use ChatGPT. I am, and it's more examples of why it's just getting worse and worse. So, I've said this before. I'll say it again. I remember when AI was first starting to be talked about. I'm talking like, 2018. And I do still think there are use cases for ethical AI. This is the other important part, because that's a whole other discussion with the generative shit. Like, the generative BS. Because when it came to NVIDIA, DLSS and multi-frame generation, I think are perfectly fine on their own. Like, if you take the technology as they are, I think they're actually good. I think it's actually impressive, and the way they've worked through it is impressive because it offers a solution to help with the graphics like increase problem, where basically we've now reached a point where we physically can't make the chips smaller for the graphics processing. So what do? You got to try and use it more efficiency. Now, there's a whole other discussion there when it comes to optimization. And devs getting lazy with optimization, which again, I think is a gross oversimplification of, like, of the problem, because I would imagine it's usually down to them not just having enough time and, like, obviously having to ship games out by certain deadlines and all this other shit, So, I do think there is a use case for that kind of AI, but this is not it, because this is now directly interfering with the creative process. And again, I know there's some people that say, oh, but it's opt-in, they don't have to use it, or, oh, you can turn it off, you don't have to use it. Like, that's not the problem. The problem is they're using, as far as I can guess, a generative model that just straight up steals from the internet or wherever it's located, and it comes across as them basically going, no, you don't know, no, you don't understand, you don't know what game you want. And, like, here's the other part to this. this is so focused on photorealistic visuals. Even though I wouldn't even call this photorealistic, I call this hyperrealism or, you know, fake realism. What about, you know, stylized games? You know, what about cell shading? What about low fidelity games that are designed that way on purpose? You know, like, it just comes across as basically going, yeah, you don't know what you want. Like, we know better. Once again, Capcom, when you designed this, how well did this game do? What, sold 7 million units? I swear to God, no one say the funny number. But it's not even funny. But like, yeah, you made this game that sold like almost 7 million units. Yeah, nah, you didn't know what your vision was. What, you got path tracing working to get like realistic, to get like incredible visuals in your game? Nah. Take care, Pills. Thank you for joining. Hey, Effie, how you doing? Don't blame it. It got trained on the Xbox 360 PS3 piss filter era. God, I wish. That would be so funny, though. But it just comes off as so... It just comes off as so, like, yeah, just arrogant. Oh, by the way, we do have a response. Fucking get out of it. We do have a response from the CEO of Nvidia. Patronizing, thank you, that's the word. We have a response from Mr. Nvidia himself to the backlash, to which he says, so the question was, yeah, basically, how, since the debut of the feature, some of the critics have vocally complained about social media with the technology of making games look worse, homogenous, or only show Nvidia's view of the world. Yeah. To which then he responds, well, first of all, they're all wrong. You're wrong, chat. You don't actually think it's bad. That thing you're looking at with your eyeballs? Yeah, no, your eyeballs are wrong. The fact that I look at this and I come to the decision this looks like shit. Yeah, I'm wrong. I'm just wrong. The reason for this is because, as I've explained very carefully, DLSS 5 uses controllability of the geometry and textures and everything about the game with generative AI. So yeah, it confirms that they use generative AI, so already disgusting. He added that developers can still fine-tune the generative AI to make it match their style, adding DLSS 5 as generative capability to the existing geometry of the game, but that it doesn't change the artistic control. It's not post-processing. It's not post-processing at the frame level. It's generative control at the geometry level, which basically in English means he's saying that it's not a filter, so this isn't something where you make the game and then you put the filter on top. He's saying that you do it earlier. So like when you're like making the game, you do it at the game creating level as opposed to having the game made and then putting a filter over it. But which is better, still doesn't fix the problem. Juan also said developers can try the tool and see how they want to use it, suggesting it's up to the developer to make a toon shader to see if the game should or to see if the game should be made of glass. He says up to the developer, but let's be real, it's actually going to be up to the managers who will look at this tech and be like, oh cool, more artists we don't have to pay. And then they will force mandate this technology. That's actually what's going to happen. All of that is in the control, direct control of the middle manager, a game developer. This is very different than generative AI. It's content control generative AI. That's why we call it neural rendering. So when I was talking with Wad yesterday, I said they were either going to remain quiet or double down. They're obviously gonna... It seems like they're going down the double down route, which is the one that I would have figured they would go down, because Nvidia, for anyone who doesn't know, is the most expensive company market-wise, share-wise in the world. especially when it comes to AI. So of course they're not going to downplay their own AI technology because they can't make the investors. They can't scare off the investors. You know, they'll get Mr. Moneybags come in and be like, so how did people, how did people react to that DLSS 5 announcement? And then they'll say, we got a lot of interaction. But think about the stakeholders! The poor, poor stakeholders! You know what this is? This is like if you wanted to run the whole game on TikTok face filter. Oh, what? The example I used earlier was, this is the people looking at Aloy from Horizon Forbidden West and saying, this is not what women look like, and then they draw their own pictures with her with makeup on in order to, So, okay, sorry, chat. I'm sorry I'm gonna do this to you, but I just have to... It's really stupid that this was a thing that happened, but people are incel inbred dumbasses that don't know how ladies look. You know what? If I actually can't find the picture that I'm thinking of, I'll be happy. You know, if I actually can't, if I can't find it, I'll actually be happy, because that means it's just been lost to the annals of history. Okay, actually turns out, yeah, I can't find it. Good. I hope it remains lost forever. I've never been happier to not find a reference before. They can't make money selling promises. Every single big company that pivoted to AI is reverting back since it's causing too much chaos in the workplace. I mean, they're not. Not yet. That's not gonna happen yet. Like, it's still, like, no, too many companies are still AI pilled, and it won't happen until the market crashes. Until they stop having the ability to just keep spinning the wheels. Heartbreaking. Adult incel man has never seen a real woman. I unfortunately know exactly what you're talking about. It's just... I know that the other thing that people have been, the other argument people have been making is that, well, mods are gonna do this anyway, so why don't you just, why don't you just give this ability to the people who can make these decisions? And, like... that argument just makes no sense to me. I don't get it. Is you don't have to have a mod in your game. Yeah, that's true. I've also heard, like, the idea that maybe they can mask out things as well. Like, I don't know, like, this is stuff where it's like, this is getting technical, but, like, could there be a version of this where they basically go, don't... So, like, do it for the rest of the scene, just don't do it to Grace. Which, I think would just make it look odd. Because if they're saying it's not a filter, that should be feasible, so... I think the best case, I think with this, the best case scenario, chat, is this is coming out whether you like it or not. Best case scenario is that it comes out, nobody uses it, and then it's kind of dead on arrival, and then they just move on to the next thing. Second best case scenario is since it's at the geometry level, basically artists have the ability to just say, you know, they'll basically look at it and they go, we don't want to just put this fucking shit on everything. Or just not at all. Or, you know, they just don't use it. That's actually the best case scenario. Best case scenario is they just don't use it. If they're forced to use it, they can basically just say, alright, we're not going to use it on, like, people or characters. Because it changes them too much. Also, just, just don't turn it on. That's also the other best case scenario, is that it's an option, and I ignore it forever. Because it looks like shit. Oh, yeah, that was the other thing. When they showed off this demo, apparently they needed two 5080s. They had two 5080s in order to make this demo run. So, anyone who doesn't know, my PC's got a 5090 because I got it before everything went ridiculously expensive. I wanted this PC to be future-proof, so I got this 5090 last year. But yeah, I see no need. Personally, I see no need for this to exist. I was literally saying during Resident Evil Requiem, like, graphics are good. We can stop. Like, this is not the direction we should be going in. This is not... I don't think this is what people want, unless they're weird incels. How far did you get in RE9? I beat it! I got the VODs on my YouTube channel. So, yeah, no, I played it, I beat it, I loved it. God, that whole side of the internet is just so weird to me, man. It just is. Like, chat, I've discussed this with WOD a bunch of times, but like, chat, you may notice I like women. I think women are pretty cool. I think women are pretty great. I think women can be really sexy, and I like sexy women. Surprise, surprise, I like attractive women. I think hot men are also cool. I'm not attracted to them in the same way, but I look at Leon and I go, damn, that is a hot man. And then you get this shit, you know? And it's like, you get this shit in an official capacity. Like, don't get me wrong, there's always been, like, weird mods. Like, there's always been those weird mods, you know, nude mods, sexy outfit mods, and I would love to say that it doesn't hurt things. You know, I would love to be able to have the ability to go, you do you, man, that doesn't hurt anybody, but now at this point, I just don't believe it. I think it does hurt, because now we get shit like this, because now we got this from literally the most, you know, like, not the most powerful, but, you know, like, one of the most expensive companies in the world, because they look at shit like this and they go, yes, this is what people want. Because a bunch of weird incels are weird about it. I don't want this. I don't want this future. I also think it's dummy that they didn't consult Capcom at all for footage. What do you mean? They did consult them. This was signed off on. They wouldn't be allowed to show this without Capcom signing off on it. It was cool to see when Leon went to the same area as Grace at the hospital and everything he left there as Grace, even though the blood splatters are still there. They really went ham on the details. Oh, absolutely, 100%. No, they went super ham on the details in that game, to the point where it references so many other Resident Evil games if you're a crazy person and can recognize the references. I didn't recognize all of them. There's more explicit mods for Leon than there is for anyone else. It was so bad in RE4 Remake that Capcom had to announce something like, we don't mind you modding the game, but don't be sharing our IP with them on social media. It's just... mods are fantastic, you know? I think mods are actually fantastic. Like, you know, obviously. There's so many good ones out there, but then it's just... God, why do people have to be so weird, man? Why do people have to be so weird about it? Developers at Capcom tell Inside Gaming that the announcement and the publisher's involvement were particularly shocking, as Capcom has previously been historically very anti-AI, with the projects such as Resident Evil Requiem and other unannounced projects in development. Some of the publishers fear that DLSS 5 rounds could prompt a change in the publisher's view on generative AI and its implementation in the games. Yeah, no, what that sounds to me is that it was, like I was talking about earlier, it was signed off by management, not the developers or artists. No, I would imagine the developers and artists hate this. No, when I say Capcom signed off on it, I mean upper management. That's who I'm talking about, because they're the ones who look at shit like this and go, genius, this is the future, this is what people want, we're gonna save so much money. Developers and artists, no, absolutely, I think they hate this. Like, there had to be someone at Capcom that signed off on this, and it would be, you know, it would be one of the upper management guys. Anyway, so that's DLSS 5, chat. As I've hopefully made very clear, I'm not a fan. There have been times where I have been... My barometer when it comes to AI is weird, because I feel like I do a lot more research into it than some people do, so I try to do my best to research into, you know, the ethical stuff involving AI. So generative, absolutely not, completely out. You know, that is not ethical in the slightest in my eyes. Machine learning, that's different because that's like insular models, so that can be better. But then of course, you know, the environmental side of it, blah blah blah. Usually my sort of like ethical boundaries are like towards, you know, old DLSS, you know, and frame generation, and also when it comes to like fan projects, when they, you know, try and recreate old like pre-rendered backgrounds and stuff like that, when it, you know, it's a tool. That's what it's supposed to be in my eyes. It's a tool. It's just so sad that this really cool potential tool that should have just been a neat thing for a couple fringe use cases is just being completely just paraded around by a bunch of Silicon Valley shitheads. You say, I might be reading into this, but I think you're against this tech. No! Monster, what would have ever given that idea to you? Hey Cat, how we doing? How we doing? Anyway. Anyway, now that's that done, let's get into something less gross. Incest! Yo, anyone check out that Alex story trailer? Anyone check out that Street Fighter 6 Alex story trailer? Speaking of Capcom, don't mean weird. Please explain. So, yesterday, a couple fighting games got a patch. There was Tekken 8, which got a balance patch, which not many people like, from what I can tell. So that's going down very well. Not much really to say there. It seems to be a patch that's all over the place, and a lot of people are dooming on it. And there was the Street Fighter 6 patch, which came with new character, or sorry, I should say returning character, Alex. We now know his last name is Winner. His name is Alex Winner. And all in all, the patch notes themselves people are mixed on. Like the balance patch, my character barely got changed, so it doesn't really change me that much. But people were really hyped for Alex because he looked great. His gameplay looked great. His animations looked great. They got Kenny Omega to do all of the motion capture. There's like tons of references. It's like he looks like a perfectly lovingly crafted character. And all was fine. He came out. And then people played the arcade mode. So, anyone who knows Alex's character, he has a relationship with a girl called Patricia. This is kind of a weird piece of art of her. Is there a better one? Hang on, let me see if I can get a better one. But yeah, he's had this relationship with this character, Patricia. Yeah, here we go. Here is the one from the arcade mode. When you finish the arcade mode, they are married, and she is pregnant with I'm assuming his child. Patricia Winner is a character in the Street Fighter series who first appeared in Street Fighter 3 New Generation. She is Tom's daughter and Alex's second cousin, adoptive younger sister, and wife, as well as mother of his child. The developers have stated that Patricia is like a real sister to Alex, and that she loves him like an older brother. Capcom, you had to actively put in the effort to make this weird. Like, this is new info. I need to make this clear. This character's been around since Street Fighter 3. You know, she's been referenced in, like, you know, all of the, you know, in all of Alex's endings. This info is new. They had to put in the effort to make this weird. I don't understand. I don't understand how this got through. Like, I'm expecting a balance patch, but the only thing that gets balanced is Alex's family tree. I'm only expecting the family tree balance patch. They balance out the little reef form in there. Yep. I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how this got through. It's so out of left field. It's so out of left field. This was never hinted anywhere. This was like there was, you know, there was no hint of this ever before. Elon's father married his stepdaughter and had a kid. He was double her age. That is lovely information. I love to hear that. What the fuck? I would be devastated if I was an Alex fan, not gonna lie. I mean, I can't lie. I'm not the biggest fan of Alex. Like, I thought he was pretty cool. I still think his gameplay looks cool. You know? I still think that... I still think that part's cool. So that's what the Street Fighter community is going through at the moment. That's what they're going through at the moment. Ugh. You see, Samoa Joe, when you fight me, there's a 0% chance of interest. But I'm a genetic freak, so folks' odds automatically go up 33.3%. But since Tom is related to my mother, those chances exponentially increase to over 66.2%. The numbers don't lie, Joe. The numbers don't lie. Oh my lord. It's so wild. It's so wild. I never would have guessed. I would have never have guessed in 100 years that this was going to be the thing that de-hyped Alex for a lot of people. It's been a weird chat. It was a weird day yesterday. This is why I say this. Like, the Tekken patch being bad is like honestly the least interesting thing. Like, out of everything that happened, that's the least interesting. The patch came out, people don't like it. Oh my lord. Is it actually getting a review bot? I mean, a little bit. It's now mostly positive. Oh, just in time. His theme. Just in time. I forgot I put his theme in. I mean, it's still a good theme. My lord. Hey Otto, how are you doing? Yeah, Lucky, Lucky, Comfy. Thank you for the luck. There we go. Hey, don't pay attention to that. Look at Elena's new swimsuit. It's great. Also, DJ's new swimsuit. They both look great. Look at them. Look, she's so pretty, and they're not related. Don't worry, they're not related. Oh my lord. Yo, but Elena looks great though. I mean, Elena always looks great. Elena's, like, super pretty. By the way, Tekken 8 Season 3 Absolute Buns. Oh, I've heard. I heard Leo is considered great now, so that's great for me, I guess. DJ got a new album, all of a sudden they give him buffs in his patch. Interesting decision, Capcom. She's so tall. How tall is Elena? Isn't she like 6? She's quite... Hang on. Screw it, since we're still on the subject. I typed in Elena wiki and it gave me the wrong freaking Elena. There we go. How tall is she? Height... Yeah, 6 foot. 6'1". Yeah, no, she is a tall lady. Elena is gorgeous. I want her to be happy forever. Well, as long as they don't do anything... Well, thankfully, she's already had her arcade mode, so they can't mess that up. Oh, my lord. I'd argue Brawlhalla needs more skill to get good at than Tekken. Different skill. It needs different skill. I think it's the thing that you should that should be said. Like, they're completely different skill sets. Well, maybe that statement's now true with Tekken 8 Season 3. Isn't Elena canonically BFFs with Akuma? Yes. They literally start out fighting in our arcade mode. If someone could be friends with Akuma, they deserve happiness. Oh, my lord. Yeah, I did re-download Tekken. Because I am curious. I am curious to maybe give it at least a go. Because I never played a single match during Season 2. Can I confirm that? One sec. Oh, damn it, it says last played today. Damn it, I was going to see if it's still... I can't see, sadly. Want to do some viewer matches, you say? Sadly, not today. I said I would play Cyberpunk today, but I'm still not fully up for a full stream yet, I don't think. I still think I need to rest a bit, because, mouth still sore, still have stitches, so I probably shouldn't be talking too much. So, yeah, I'm still being a bit mindful. Never said anything about today. Fair enough, then yeah. Now, if we get the opportunity, I would absolutely love to do some viewer matches. Is your drum going to absorb the stitches because mine had to do that? Yes, they're going to they're going to disintegrate. Mine did, but become a part of me. Oh, my lord. Yeah, that's what my surgery was for. I couldn't get a simple tooth extraction because of where it was located, so I had to have it surgically removed. I had my upper wisdom tooth also extracted at the same time because of the lower one not growing correctly, it caused the top one not to grow correctly. I love teeth. Did they give you laughing gas? No, they just put me under. They just gave me general anesthetic, so I was sleeping for a couple hours. They pulled 2 teeth? Yes. No, the top one was a regular extraction. They had to get rid of that one too because there wasn't going to be the bottom tooth stopping it from growing, so it was going to cause problems later. So they said, well, we might as well, Get rid of both. Dang, no laughing gas to make you tell you the unhinged things you said. Oh, don't even joke about that. I'm so scared what I would say under laughing gas. I'm sure they would have heard it all, but it would still feel weird. Oh, you're doing amazing for someone to have 2 T-pulled. I was not happy camper either time. Wow, thank you. No, like I said, I guess I'm just built different because I went back on the same day as well. I just, like, I was under for 2 hours and then I was out by 8 p.m. Like, it's sore, but, like, I still feel relatively okay. By the way, you say, did you see that Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer? We are getting organic webbing again. I did see. Yeah, no, I did watch the trailer. It's been a while. It's been a while since I watched. It's been a while since I watched any Marvel anything. If I'm being honest, it's even been a while since I played Marvel Rivals. Unfortunately, my friends don't like to play it because of the AI shit that they used, which was the most obvious thing ever that they were going to use. Oh, oh, in funny news, Meta is shutting down its VR metaverse on June 15th. Haha, lol. Yo, we gonna get, oh shit, Paul. That's his name. Are we gonna get Paul? Like, it looked like there could be a Paul in the film, which would be hilarious. Being awake for the whole thing, feeling my mouth disintegrate at the hinges, and hearing the crunchy noise as they pulled the teeth was awful. Yeah, no, I've had that kind of experience, like, once. Vaguely. Because I wasn't put fully under. It was like sedation. Please, no, Paul deserves nothing. Okay, chat. Question. Do any of you own Killing Floor 2, Left 4 Dead 2, or Call of Duty Zombies Black Ops 3 backwards? So I mentioned this before, and I want to see if I can get, like, a play session going with one of those games. Because I'm so done with live service shit. I want to just go back. I want the ability to go back. Because the easiest out of all of those to get would be Left 4 Dead. That game goes on, like, even if I, like, let me look for it, like, at full price right now, Left 4 Dead 2, specifically, I should probably specify. Left 4 Dead 2 is £8.50, and that game goes on sale for, like, pennies, usually. Now, I want to try... I want to try and see if I can get a game going for Left 4 Dead with some friends, but also versus mode was the big one that I wanted to do. Possibly with chat, if it's available with enough people. So including me, we'd need like 8 people, because the versus mode is really fun. Just out of curiosity, if I look on SteamDB, I'm just curious actually now. How many people are playing right now? Call of Duty would unfortunately be a lot more involved because that game is not safe to play because of freaking Activision shenanigans. So that would require like a client. That's still there is almost 18,000 people playing Left 4 Dead 2. Damn, I could just play with randos. Yeah, the lowest recorded price for Left 4 Dead 2 is 85 pence. And the last time it went on sale was... Does it say the last time it went on sale? Last time it went on sale was... Yeah, December. December to January. So, winter sale time. Yeah, it goes down. It goes down very often. Tokon looking good. Did you hear they're adding a style meter to Tokon? They're adding a gameplay mechanic. They're adding like a gameplay mechanic where if you do the same move over and over again, yeah, they're adding a stylish rating. This is a bonus that influences the minimum proration when multiple skills are used. Simply put, the more variety of attacks used in a combo, the higher the damage output. Like DMC? Yes! The more moves you put in a combo, the more, the more damage you do. Which sounds sick. That's cool. Smash does something similar, but it's for spamming the same move over and over. Yes, I am aware of Smash doing something similar like that, but no, I'm so happy it looks like Tokon is turning around a bit, because I know people were pretty iffy on the first and second beta especially, but it seems like the changes they're doing look very good. Like, they are very good looking changes. Also, Doku, I just saw the post right now about the developers not knowing about the DOS. Yes, okay. Man. That's fucked. Jesus Christ. Oh, the memes have been great, at the very least. The shit posting has been absolutely great. There's like one benefit that has come out of it all, it's that. Whew. Okay, well... God, it's so weird, chat, man. Man, I hope Crimson Desert's good and doesn't have anything weird in it. That'd be great. Can we just have this game come out and it's actually fine and it has no problems and nothing's weird about it, please? Please? I would like that. I would like that in a game this week. I would like that, please. Instead of have one weird thing in it. Me! I will be streaming it on Friday when it comes out, and maybe Saturday. I've got, like, a spare slot on the Saturday, so, depending on how good it is, I might try out some more Crimson Desert. Probably not gonna play the whole thing on camera, but I do at least want to, see if I can have a bit of fun in it. It's just kind of funny that I started playing, Breath of the Wild, and the way that I've seen people describe Crimson Desert from, like, previews is Breath of the Wild on crack that meets Bayonetta, and... what was the other example they used? It was, like, that and something else. I guess a bit of The Witcher. Since no one told me, I looked up the character at the Weird Arcade in Street Fighter. I wish I had him. Why, Otto? We didn't tell you for a reason! There's a reason we didn't tell you! Why would you do that? Uh, why would you do that to yourself, man? I'm sorry you had to find out this way. I'm so sorry. Anyway, if you boot up Street Fighter 6, you could just claim the Mega Man helmets from the collab. Is that for the player avatar? Because I don't really care about that. I always liked Hugo better. I mean, so did I, actually. I played a bit of Hugo in Street Fighter 4. He's fun. Oh, my lord. Yeah, maybe I should at least, pick it up. I mean, I guess there's no reason not to. Oh, my lord, chat. Why? When did games get complicated? I mean, I guess they were always complicated in some ways, but, like... When did it just get so... I don't even know what the right word is. I'm trying to think of a word other than complicated, and I can't think of it. Does line must always go up? I guess so. I guess so. Well, now comes the part where I actually have to figure out what I want to do. At least the Silver Line is the best games of 2025 were mostly indies. Yeah. That's true. I'd agree with that. Trying to remember. Sorry, I might be stupid. One sec. Unfortunately, I still have missed out a bunch of games that I really should play in 2025. But that's why my new method for streaming this year has been working, because now I've actually been getting to the games I really care about that I want to cover. Why do you have to go and make my game so complicated? I see the incest in my Street Fighter 2 makes me so frustrated. Do you know what's funny? Weird Al literally did a parody where there was a reference to incest. Like, straight up with that song. One of the verses was literally about dating his cousin. Son of a gun, it's just like the one of me. Tell me, how was I supposed to know we were both related? I gotta say, if I knew she was my cousin, then we never would have dated. What to do now? Should I go ahead and propose and get hitched and with kids with 11 toes and move to Alabama where the kind of thing is tolerated? Fun fact, chat. I once got in trouble for sharing that song with my sister, with my parents, because I was really into Weird Al Yankovic for a bit, and they thought it wasn't appropriate that I was sharing a song, even though my mom actually likes Weird Al Yankovic, but still, they thought it wasn't very appropriate I was sharing that song with my sister. I can't remember what age I was. Oh, pardon me. Alright, chat. I'm still feeling a bit sore, so I know it's early, but I think I might finish off here for tonight. I think I'm just gonna finish off here for tonight. I know it's been a short one, but I just want to make sure I don't overdo it and, you know, have to redo my stitches. No, thank you everyone for stopping on by. I'm going to not date my cousin. How about that? That's what I'm gonna do. Alright, take care everyone, and I shall see you hopefully tomorrow, unless I still need to rest, but we shall see. Alright, take care everyone, and